Hey everyone, welcome to the 495th episode of Just Shoot It, a podcast about filmmaking, screenwriting, and directing. This episode is brought to you by patron Daniel Zagayer, who you should watch his Instagram videos. They're pretty freaking awesome.
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. I'm Oren Kaplan.
And I'm Matt Oren. Today we've got Mercedes Bryce Morgan on the show. She's got a new movie out called Bone Lake that's in theaters
Tomorrow, if you're listening to this on October 2nd.
Look at
Comes out Friday, October 3rd.
And I assume relatively soon thereafter you can watch it in all the places you watch movies. Mercedes is an old pal. It's really great to reconnect with her. We had her back on the show many years ago now. And since then, she's made a bunch of movies, learned a ton. She's so smart. She's so engaging. It's such a treat to talk to her. And also just to kind of have clocked the growth that Mercedes has had, both career-wise and also artistically. She's also one of those people that has like a very distinct and clear sensibility that feels pretty different from ours in a way that's refreshing and fun to talk to, for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because I see her work and I'm like, oh man, I want to do stuff like that. I want to do that.
Yeah. I think we both like that. And the way she moves the camera, the way she does action, all of that stuff is so fun and things that we both relish. But like, I would say Mercedes is like a good notch or two grittier and darker and more punk rocker than either of us.
I mean,
in our work.
A lot of people say I'm very punk rock. I mean, I think that's one thing people would agree on.
Yeah. For sure.
Maybe that's the real punk rock is agreeing on things since we're disagreeing. But yeah, no, Mercedes, she's an incredible director. I've talked about this years ago. We might even talk about it in this conversation, which we actually, in all honesty, recorded a couple weeks ago. But I lost a big sci-fi epic job to her. That's the first time I heard about her. And it's kind of clear why. She's got the visual style. She's got the performances. She knows how to create emotions and momentum on screen. And so, yeah, Bone Lake, you should check it out. It will rattle you to your bones. Will get your bones wet.
I think there's a double entendre to it that,
it's like, it's where everyone goes to Bone. Yeah. Nobody invited me to Bone Lake as a child, which is really odd. As a child, as a
weird.
Okay.
All right.
As a teenager, as a cool college kid. Anyhow, let's move on beyond this conversation. Anything you want to catch up on before we talk to Mercedes?
I think this is a nice long conversation, so we should jump into it right after we remind everyone that if you were listening to this day and date on the day that it drops, there's still time to come hang out with us at our meetup, our mixer, our party, our happy hour. Maybe
I was thinking of calling it. I mean, should we call it like happy office hours, or does that not track? Are office hours like where you get to talk to someone about a thing that you're
office hours is like
on?
Your professor is contractually obligated to like have conversations with students from, for a certain number of hours every semester. And so they hold office hours so that people can come by and ask questions. That's what my understanding of office hours is.
But I guess what I'm saying
is not this.
If we called it the Just Shoot It office hours, would
happy hour. I think it's a happy hour. Right?
I know, but I'm just talking out loud here, thinking out loud. If we called it office hours, would people have the expectation that they would get to come talk to us about their projects?
Maybe.
Which would be kind of a fun format.
Yeah, but this is not that. This is much more of just like
a hangout.
A hangout, yeah.
But don't you think it would be cool, just for us personally, if there was a 5-minute timer on every conversation that we have on the night of October 8th?
No, because we'll be in all sorts of great conversations that we want to last longer than.
No, I know,
minutes.
but wouldn't you rather have 10 5-minute conversations than 3 20-minute conversations? I know the math isn't exactly right. But.
I don't know. Depends on the conversation. And also, everyone's talking to everybody. You know what I mean?
Did we talk about this idea Larry David had about party police?
No.
Basically like a person you hire to come to your party. And if they notice anyone is talking for more than 5 minutes, they're like, okay, we got to break up this conversation. And they basically save you.
We did. Yeah, maybe we did. Yeah.
And I think it would be cool to have someone like that at our mix-up. At our mixer, at our happy hour. What do you think about name tags? Is that
I'm going to go for it. I'll bring some name tags.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Where do you get your name tags?
If you are watching on YouTube, you will be so excited. I'm just going to get them at like Staples or something.
Oh, yeah. We have the Target down the street from my house has some. You can get 20 for like $5, which I thought was kind of expensive.
That is kind of expensive, actually. Yeah.
I'm like, I guess we're only inviting 20 people at the price of name tags now.
That brings up, though, the point. Do me a favor and go to events.justshootIt.com to RSVP. There's an option to donate. You don't have to donate. It's fine.
It's a free event.
It's a free event. Please, people keep donating, which is generous and nice. But I just wanted to cover the $100 fee that they charge us. We've done that, so don't worry about it. But
but if you want to, if you feel bad you haven't joined our Patreon after 11 years.
Yeah, sure. It's a way to
it's an easier non-committal
That's what
way.
I suspect is actually what's happening, honestly, is that people are just like, oh, great, one-off. I know I've got the money right now. No big deal. No,
it's if NPR was like, hey, come to this book reading or whatever.
Sure.
And you were like, okay. And they're like, it's free, but if you want to make a donation, I'm sure everyone would be like, oh, I've never donated to NPR after 8 bazillion fund drives, pledge drives.
I donated a car
bucks.
to NPR.
Oh, come on.
I did. Yeah.
That was just for the write-off.
It was. Yeah, and I didn't have to pay for a tow truck. 1-800-CARS for kids.
Is that the number?
No, that's
9 phone numbers.
That's a different
numbers.
jingle. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
events.justshootitpod.com, patreon.com/justshootitpod. Any way you want to support.
I have ordered hats.
Oh, yes.
They will be available first come, first serve, 35 in 2 different colorways.
$35.
35 hats.
35 hats.
36 technically, but I think we're gonna give a couple away as door prizes. And if you want to buy them, how much should we charge, Oren? What do you think? $35?
I mean,
that's
to me,
that's the going rate for a hat.
In 2025, that sounds about right. That's like $20 in 2019 dollars.
That's right. Yeah.
How are we going to choose who gets the hats at the event?
I'll figure it out.
Whoever buys
I was going to use
drink.
I was going to use, honestly, I'd use the RSVP list. So if you have an RSVP, you can't be on the list. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and then I would use a random number generator and pick from that, basically.
Wow, fancy.
Yeah, you got to keep it random.
Let's just go with number 17 on the list. I don't have the list in front of me.
Well, then that means that the winner has already RSVP. Yeah.
Only 16 people at the time of this listening have RSVP.
That is not true. It's going to be a good turnout. A lot of awesome people. Bring your friends and we'll figure it out. And the hats are very cool.
Awesome.
Which will be really fun.
Wait, you said you received them?
No, I haven't received them yet. But I will by the time the party is here.
Okay, I hope so.
Me too.
I hope you wear 2 of them. Hat on a hat.
Boom. All right, everybody.
Here's Mercedes Bryce Morgan to talk about Bone Lake. Abby Fuller said, if you tell someone that you can shoot anything, that you can direct anything, they'll hire you for nothing.
Yeah. It's pretty good
advice. It's probably the best piece of advice we've ever had on the podcast.
That is good advice.
I feel like you were the first person that was like, just talking to us about how you use your iPhone.
Yeah.
And you just shoot all the action sequences.
Oh my God.
Ahead of time.
It's funny because I don't even remember saying that, but I also still do that.
It was 8 years ago.
I guess I took my advice.
Well, I feel like now everyone does it, but I feel like you invented that. Now it just seems the most obvious thing in the world.
I definitely did. Yeah.
Not to fall down that rabbit hole, but also you're here to talk about Bone Lake, which is your 3rd feature.
Is that right? 3rd feature. Yeah. Yes.
Even though I feel like you've done like 100 feature length things.
I have, but that made me more prepared when I went and did my first feature. Because I feel like if I hadn't had done the other feature length things before my first feature wouldn't have been as good. So I got to practice without having it be my first feature.
I feel like you invented also verticals, but you shot them sideways.
Yes, actually, when I was coming up, it was the sideways verticals that was all the rage, where I say 10 by 10, and some people know what it is. I know you guys, obviously, because that's how we met each other.
What is it?
Yeah.
10 by 10 is like a mini series that's 10 minutes long, 10 episodes that are 10 minutes long, basically.
Yeah,
right?
No one knows what that is now.
Content. But you know what the trick to make a 10 by 10 is like, you have like a minute credit sequence, opening sequence, and then you have like a minute like last time on, and then you have like a minute end sequence. So you really only have to make like a 7-minute episode.
I think on our Go 90 show, we did fill one episode with just to like meet some sort of like contractual requirements.
Yeah.
It's fine. Literally the day my show launched, they announced Go 90 was going under. So
full screen. R.I.P.
Sure.
No, everything. Quibi.
Yeah. That's how I paid my rent for multiple years, was 10 by 10s.
I mean, it's crazy. We talk about this a lot, but you used to be able to make money as a young director.
Yeah.
doing that. And it was not that it was easy to get that job, but if you worked really hard and made a lot of stuff, someone would eventually hire you to direct.
I think when we were all doing that, I don't think any of us had like credits that would be like taken seriously. Let's say.
No, we were perfect for the fit. Like they needed people who could do a certain budget range, and we were really excited about it. And so it was a good fit. Yeah. And then it was cool because we got to take that experience, then be where we are now.
Yeah. And the thing, what sucks now, not to discourage new young filmmakers, but like back then, we were the people that, bought the DVX 100 or the Canon 5D or whatever it was. And we saved up the $3,000 to do that. And we got the lights and we did all those things to let us do it. Like that, even though it's a low barrier to entry, there's still some barrier to entry. So if you could just put together something that made some sense and had some style, you could get a job. But now everyone can.
I think we're overlooking the world of verticals. I think like
that's true.
There are people who are making money, cranking things out, putting in serious reps.
I don't think they're as easy to get as. Like you could go right now, I could go to Instagram, not even log in and find 100 great people to direct verticals,
Yeah.
Whereas when we were doing it,
it was not quite so obvious. You had to go to a tube
Mercedes
filter mixer or something.
I mean, it's funny you're saying
not that you're not special anymore, that we're not special anymore. It's just that it's just annoying how many talented people are out there.
I mean, it's funny you're saying this because I always wish that I was one of the 90s directors where you make a short and then they give you, a minimum $20 million feature.
And then Steven Spielberg writes you a letter. He's like, hey, I saw your short film at
everything just gets more and more saturated.
But I 100%, I've had that thought a million times. But I think it's really easy to forget that the number of people who got to make movies at that time was way smaller, ignoring all of the like biases and all of that stuff, right? Just like the body count, the number of people getting to make movies in the 90s was still significantly lower, even though the payday was bigger and like people were buying DVDs and watching indie movies in theaters and stuff.
True. There's pros and cons, right? There's more people, but there's more content, which I say to people all the time. I go, but there's more people to watch more stuff.
Sure.
So.
Oh, come on. Are there?
Well, people are consuming media in a pretty voracious way. Yeah. They're not watching movies the way they used to, but
but there's different platforms.
There's a reason we call it binging, and it's because people watch an entire season of TV in 3 days without blinking.
Sick.
Yeah.
Watching all that content.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of movies, so you made a third movie.
Yes.
Why? Why would you waste your time on movies when you could have made 10-minute episodes?
I love making movies so much better. But it's third movie. Each one has been a very vastly different experience. And I'm in prep for the fourth right now.
So, damn.
Yeah. Awesome. Catching you guys right before I disappear.
Cool.
Oh, great. Cool. Can we ask you what did the budgets get bigger on each one, or was the first one medium and then tiny? And
the first one was medium. Second one was tiny because my second one was supposed to be my first, but then COVID happened and they swapped places.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I'm
a movie switch.
Yes. And then
the social media, like
that makes
piecing
sense.
things together.
Yes.
That's right. Okay, great.
And then my third was medium. And then this one is like another little jump above that.
So it's the biggest budget you've had?
Yes.
Except it doesn't go nearly as far as your first movie budget.
You don't have to go.
It's bigger than the first.
Right. But if you had like $500,000 in 2018 is like $1 million.
I know. 2025, listeners don't know this, but I normally say like, hey, we don't ask about numbers or whatever, but in this case, Mercedes, can you give us context clues of like what medium, small, and something like that? Just
without saying, my first one was medium. I mean, if it tells you anything, we were shooting. The whole thing was all built sets. So we got, it was not $1 million movie. It was like a couple million.
Right.
And then my second one was ultra low budget. Everyone in a house couldn't afford to do steady cam every day, which is, the stuff I shoot. I'm like, I have B cam and my B cam's always on steady cam, or we move it off and on whenever we want to. And then the third was similar to the first, where, we got room to play around.
Sure.
And then this next one is a level above that because we are not contained. And with well-known actors who I can't say who they are yet.
Perfect.
Is there a studio?
Yes, it is with Balcony 9 and Whitewater. So it is still independent, but with some awesome producers.
And what does independent mean? That there's just no release date yet?
Independent means that it is many financiers who have been found and pulled together.
And were you involved in that at all, or they do that?
Yeah. Basically, it's both. It was cast dependent. I went and I pitched on it a couple of years ago, and they said, when we get this cast, we need enough value to unlock financing. And then we had financing come in.
And can we ask, does that value have to do with international distribution at all?
Yes. Yeah. It's basically how much domestic
so you got
versus how much
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah. It's also because this next movie is going to be my first not horror thriller. And so we need value to be able to make it go.
What sort of genre would you describe this next feature?
Surrealist dramedy.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like Poor Things? There's that? No.
Yes. Yeah. It's like Eternal Sunshine's their biggest comp.
Oh.
And I want to keep talking about it, but I'm like, we haven't released it yet.
Yeah, for sure. You're about to go shoot it. But I think that is all really good context for us to kind of understand your trajectory. You gotta pinky promise to come back, because I really am curious about the transition from kind of more genre stuff, right?
Yeah.
Into something less bankable. Right.
Totally.
Like creatively satisfying in a different way, I imagine. But like where we are in the shape of the industry right now, sometimes it feels like if you don't want to make a horror movie, what are you supposed to do?
Oh, totally. Which my number one advice to, I've gone and done talks at NYU and USC. I'm like, make a horror short. I'm like, what are you doing? Get ready to make horror films. And the thing is, it's really lucky to love horror films, because then it works out great for you. Like I'm obsessed, obviously. And so it works out really nicely. But I think like a lot of filmmakers, I love multiple genres. And so I've always wanted to do both. And I just specifically chose my first feature, which is a horror thriller, to also be surrealist and not so much a pure horror film. It's horror because it's horrifying, but not so much that I went, okay, now I can use this to be pitched for other movies and have people see how I could make the jump.
That's awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
That's so smart.
And I do think that those surrealist dramedies can be they're still really high concept, right? Like, I guess
and people have to be funny in a horror movie for it to work.
We have
there has to be
action,
emotional
set
stakes
pieces, VFX, and it needs all of those things to come together.
Have you guys seen that Nicolas Cage movie, Dream Scenario?
I love it. Yeah.
That's
I would also classify that as surrealist drama.
You can tell Oren's been on a bunch of airplanes recently.
I actually saw that one. I think, did we get a screener for the podcast?
No.
Oh. It's so good. Yeah, I love, like, that's a genre though, where you need good talent.
If it's not Nick Cage, it doesn't work. Yeah.
Totally.
Or rather,
it will, but people might not see it as much.
Right,
and you
exactly.
Can't get it
It is interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I think about like Barbarian, and if it's not Justin Long, it probably works exactly the same, right? But there's a nice thing that it's Justin Long. Right?
Yeah. No, it's fun. But horror movie, it's interesting because when I was first doing horror, people didn't care about value of actors as much. But I think now that there's so many horror movies, that the most recent pitches and projects I'm doing, it actually does kind of matter again. And so I've kind of seen that shift over the last year or two.
Well, and also, this is more of a recent issue, but like Megan didn't do great. Like there's Blumhouse in general, I think, has had a little bit of a challenge, and that's kind of like the gold standard, like the proof that like, hey, genre works. It's pretty impervious to all this stuff. So I think as we're realizing, you can't just make a good horror movie and expect it to perform. What are the other things that Hollywood anticipates will help a movie to perform, basically?
Yeah, definitely.
Can I ask last question about your yet unproduced film?
Yes.
Did you write it, or did somebody bring it to you? Or
no, I pitched on it.
You said you pitched on it 2 years ago.
Yeah, I pitched on it 2 years ago. My rep sent it to me.
Like your agent?
Yeah.
And then you read the script, you had a take on it.
Yes.
You went and you met with the people that own the script.
Yes, over Zoom, because no pitches are in person anymore.
Right.
And that it's kind of been going ever since.
That's cool. And then they were like, we love it, but we need to work on this package. And then now it's finally packaged.
Exactly. I went and shot a whole other movie, Bone Lake, in the time that I was waiting for it
the
to
movie
go.
we're here to talk about.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, but actually, Mercedes, don't kill me. I do want to rewind before we get to Bone Lake. I want to talk about the transition from, we were joking about these 10 by 10s and kind of just like branded content, like
we can even call them web series.
Yes.
Into features, right? Because I think all of us were dreaming of that at the time. And I remember being like, oh, you went out and you did it, right? Talk to us just a little bit more about that transition, how that happened, how you pulled that off.
For sure. So I feel like, oh God, it's so hard because it's so different from everyone. But for my particular experience, it was kind of nice because I had this reel and this body of work. And funny enough, it wasn't my web series that helped me get movies. It was doing a music video for Marshmello and Bastille called Happier that was nominated for a VMA, and I got over 1 billion views. And so it was kind of proof to be able to show producers, hey, she did something that is bankable and we can trust her in this sense.
So mind-blowing that a music video.
Yes.
And also like all your other work was pretty amazing, right? It's not like it's not like you made like all this crappy stuff and all of a sudden you made something. It's just that it was Marshmello and
I think it's a short film that it's, if you go and watch it, it's a short film with a 3-act structure. And so it was kind of nice to go, hey, here's proof I could do narrative work. And it's also narrative work that is done. It's really hard to get a short film to get 1 billion views, but when you make it into a music video, it's way easier. And so I had that. And I had a producer who is now my partner. She wasn't my partner at the time, but she said, hey, I'm working at Disney. I want to doing movies with you instead of doing this. So we need to find people who have these resources and give them what they're looking for. Like, we need to pool together and go do it because we know the people with the connections and no one's using this connection. And so that's kind of how it came together. Is I feel like I needed someone to push me and say, I believe in you. Now let's do it together, because I wasn't sure, because it's a scary jump. And I go, who would want to do this? I don't know. And so with that support, we are all able to do it and find financing.
Yeah. Incredible. Yeah. I know we've been talking about web series and things like that. To Oren's point, there is a difference between the web series of like, oh, well, we all got our friends together and shot something on the weekends and, we put it up on Funny or Die, which I think probably all of us did once upon a time, but we're alluding to the Go 90, these kind of premium sort of pieces. So that's why it's especially funny that like things with real budgets, right? Like hundreds of thousands, sometimes even millions of dollars spread out over more episodes than we'd like. But like, you had a huge body of work. And it's interesting that.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, there were full union crews that we were working with. So.
And you did one of those, didn't you do one of those like choose your own adventure shows?
I did. That's also what got me started, is that went viral. And I think that's actually what got me the 10 by 10s.
No, you did 2 of them, right? Did you do one where it's like a mental patient?
Yes. I love that you remember this. I haven't even talked with anyone about this in years. Yes.
And then you did like a house party murder mystery.
Yes. Yeah.
I know you're working better
years
than
when
us.
I did that.
Yeah. I was like, God damn it. Why is she only 20? She must be lying.
There's a period of time where we knew a lot of people doing those Echo series.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
no, exactly. It's the fads of things.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to track the fads and what's happening at what point. And I think it's just keeping up with them or using it to propel you into what you want to do.
Yeah. So one of your movies went to TIFF, right?
Yes, my first movie.
Which one? Your first movie.
First movie, Fixation.
And that wasn't enough to just get you like $100 million film?
I mean, the movie was never released. So it was crazy experience.
Because of COVID?
No, there is some politics that went down and it was not released, even though we got, not Republicans, but it did feel like that. No. But no, basically what happened is we got all these offers. We went to TIFF, which is every filmmaker's dream. And then these politics prevented us from releasing it the way that we wanted to.
You don't need to go into too deeply, but when you say politics, you mean like people invested in or working on the film and in some way disagreed with one another and kind of stopped a deal from happening, basically?
Exactly. Yes. Okay. Yeah. And I think it was also a crazy thing at the time. What we've been experiencing is, you can go to a TIFF. I think one of the biggest deals that year was for just a couple $100,000 of buying the movie. And we always hear about these deals of this movie was bought for 10 million or 20 million Sundance. Usually those
that's one
deals are
movie.
made before the festival, and it's one movie out of multiple years. And so
Right.
there's all these other movies who are being offered a couple $100,000. And so I think that's really hard for people because it's not what people came in with. But also, if you're looking at these movies that are bigger and with bigger stars and everyone thinks it's awesome, but that's still the offer, that's just kind of where the industry was at that point.
Yeah. I think distributors have kind of a little bit of a take it or leave it sort of mentality, right? And have all of the leverage, right?
Yeah.
Either they offer, something that feels, it's hard to swallow when you've put your heart and soul and hard-earned money into a movie, and then it's not the fairy tale that we bought into when we were all children, basically.
No, exactly. But my hope is that it still comes out one day because, we got great reviews and it went where we wanted it to.
I know, premiered at TIFF. I mean,
exactly. That was the dream.
Not that bad.
It is the dream. So I'm still have gotten other movies from it because I'm like, this is like what I want to make, and I feel like this fully represents me. And so
I assume like when something has attachment or is already funded, your agents lead with that. Do you know what I mean? Like if you have to ask, that seems like that's probably an indicator
it's
that
actually not true though.
That's what
I think it's because other people who are sending the scripts aren't always forward about that, which is not cool. Everyone forward about that. But because not everyone says that, and then it also maybe feels awkward for them to ask. But that's why that's always a question I ask when being
That's why you're paying them 10%.
I know. I agree.
Okay, so you got this script for Bone Lake, which might or might not be about a lake full of bones. You won't tell us.
Or boners. I don't know. It's very horny.
I mean, that is why we're called Bone Lake.
Yeah.
It is a purposeful pun. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where people go to bone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I've been to that lake. Guess what? Didn't get boned. No one wanted to bone there.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
You tested Pound Lake. It didn't work. So, Bone Lake is the one. Yeah.
Exactly.
I went to Fuck Lake.
Yeah.
They were full, apparently.
Just like a
I'm
little
going to start calling them that.
Yeah. And Fuck Lake.
Anyhow, so you get the script, and then when was this? How long between you getting that script and you shooting?
It is the fastest project I've ever had go in my entire life. So I got the script, interviewed for it the next week, and then we said it's a go. And then I got that late January, and we shot in April.
Awesome.
So I got that and was on location a couple
of this
weeks
year?
later.
No, last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crazy, 2024.
Yes.
Wait, so you got the script and a week later you met on it. What do you bring to that meeting? And when you say met on it, you mean on Zoom?
Yeah. No, so this one was in person. So that's why everyone is different. I didn't pitch on this in the traditional way that I pitch on other movies because LD, I absolutely love them. I'm also doing another movie together with them. But they said, hey, we've worked with all these assholes and we don't want to work with assholes anymore.
Oh, who are the assholes?
Yeah, I'll name all of them from A to Z.
Yeah.
I love hearing about assholes.
And so it was more of a conversation versus the other movies I've done. It's been a straight up pitch.
Yeah.
So it almost sounds like they wanted to get a sense of you more than
vibe check.
Vibe check more than they wanted your take. I mean, I'm sure they also wanted your take, but they also wanted to know that you would be a good partner on a personal level.
Yeah. No, I mean, I brought in a take, but it wasn't when I usually do a pitch, I go, here's my cinematography references, and here's the music, and here's the production design. I lead everyone through every department. And this was more conceptually talking about it to making sure we're on the same page and that we liked each other. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about then. I think it's relatively clear, like, oh, okay, you're going to go through every single department and like what it's going to look like and sound like and feel like and all that stuff. But when it's more conceptual, you don't have that structure anymore, right? Like it's not like you can just go down the call sheet and be like, okay, well, this is what, X, Y, and Z will happen. How did you prepare for it? Like how formal was your preparation process versus, tell us about it.
Whenever I go into any conversation or pitch for a movie, I make sure I have a pre-meeting because if someone's looking at a totally different movie than me, either A, I shouldn't be pitching on it if we disagree, or if there's something small that people are like, we don't like this thing. And if someone mentions this one thing on the pitch, we're not going to hire them. I want to know because it might not be something I care about. And then I go, I'm not going to pitch it that way because who cares? Let's not have that thing and agree upon it.
Sure. Somebody's daughter is attached to be,
exactly. Yeah. So I have a pre-pitch meeting and then I kind of go
Sorry, your pre-pitch meeting is with
It's usually with the exec. So cool. I'll have a pre-pitch meeting with the exec, and then I'll meet with the other producers.
So that's like a creative brief in the commercial world, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'll have the creative brief. And I didn't know to ask for this when I was younger. But then I realized, why would I not ask for that?
No,
it's so helpful. Genius. Yeah. Yeah.
There's this commercial director, JJ Adler, and she talks about the creative brief. And she's like, I'll always be like, do you think like a joke like this would work in this spot, or more a joke like this? And you're basically like saying, you're figuring out, because it's funny because you need to bring a take, per se, but you might have like 3 or 4 takes that you think are really fun. Like this could be awesome as a kind of campy musical, or it could be awesome as like a super dark, gritty, like super serious thing. And it's nice to get a sense of that before you go in.
Exactly. Yeah. Or my favorite question to ask people is, what do you not want this movie to be? Because that's sometimes easier for people to answer than what they want it to be.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really, really good. Yeah. It's interesting because, we're all operating in this space that's like work for hire. You know what I mean? Like you're pitching on things, whether it's a commercial or a movie or whatever. And I think that I'm realizing in this conversation, you have to kind of have that flexibility of like seeing it a bunch of different ways and being able to get excited about all of those, right? Like Mercedes, when you're having that pre-meeting, it's not to like stress test your take necessarily, and more to kind of like find what your guardrails are,
Yeah, exactly.
I think that sometimes is like film school sometimes will produce filmmakers like this that they're A students. Do you know what I mean? And so there's like a little bit of people pleasing, and that's not a derogatory thing. It's more just like we have the malleability to like see it a bunch of different ways and to get excited about it, right? Yeah. So like knowing what direction you're needing to sprint towards is essential. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think also something that I've experienced too is if you're doing a commercial and you guys end up seeing it a different way, in a couple of weeks, it's out of your life. You don't. Whereas if I'm on a feature, I have to watch something 500 fucking times.
Sure.
And be with it for so long and go on interviews and talk about it. And so I better like it, or else I should not be there because it's a big undertaking.
Yeah, for sure.
Like we better see it the same way. It's like dating. It's like, who are you going to marry? I'm like, I am choosing to marry these people for the next couple of years.
Did you ever have experiences where you were excited about a script, had the pre-meeting, and then realized you weren't the person for that movie?
Yeah. And actually, it was kind of in a good way where I think we both would realize it about each other, which is how it should be. It was kind of a mutual.
No one dumped the other person.
Yeah. So we were kind of like, oh, we're looking for different things in life, and that's okay. And I feel like most of the pitches I haven't gotten, it's usually because that's the case. And so that's kind of a nice
Must
feeling.
Be nice.
Yeah. I've also had ones that are not that way, because everybody has.
Well, so on this specific project on Bone Lake, like, you had some budget to shoot things that it was financed by other people. What do you get to decide versus what they get to? Do you get to choose the DP, the production designer, the cast?
Yeah.
How much does that have to be approved by other people versus you?
On this, it's different on every single project, but on this project, I was able to get all my peeps. So I had my same DP who I love and my production designer, but then everyone else was new because we shot in Atlanta. And so it's kind of wherever I go, we're hiring those people. And then cast was but also the producers still interviewed people after I brought them forward to make sure that we also get along with them. And then cast was kind of us coming together. So 2 of the cast members are people that I had known of before or worked together with, and the other 2 were actors that they had worked together with before.
Oh, cool.
And it all worked out wonderfully, which is very fortunate.
And again, I know you don't want to spoil the movie too much, but like, can you just tell us a little bit about like kind of your approach to creating the look or the technique or the tone or something? I mean, obviously, you're come from like this genre background, so creating tone is probably like one of your specialties.
Oh yeah, I mean the thing about this movie is what happens is absolutely absurd. So I feel like the bad version of this movie that we'd not make is something that takes itself too seriously, and so we wanted to make something. This is a popcorn movie. It's funny, but you care about the characters because you're going to care when the horror goes down. And so my approach to it is have grounded protagonists that we really believe of what they're going through as this drama. And then as we go, our antagonists can be over the top because we're kind of leading people into this over the top space because that's what horror movies are. And so that was kind of my approach to it. And we started out with very naturalistic lighting. And then as our genre kind of ramped up, we changed to giallo lighting. And so everything kind of follows that of we're ramping up into this horror genre. So let's make sure our style reflects that.
Wait, you changed it into yellow lighting, you said?
Like giallo lighting.
Oh, giallo lighting. What's giallo lighting? Do you know that term, Matt?
Okay.
It's like Suspiria, basically.
Yes, basically. Yeah. It's like very intense colors.
Like party gels.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, exactly. Like all
Giallo
of our moonlight.
films.
Yes, all of our moonlight is lavender, basically.
Oh, cool. Can you tell that you guys went to film school and I didn't?
That one, I don't know if that's a film school pull or if that's just a Criterion Channel pull. I think there was a giallo collection maybe last.
I think so. Yeah,
last year maybe. Anyway,
yeah,
that's cool. And when you say over the top, is it you mean like in like performance visuals? Like in the beginning, it's like kind of dolly, like traditional framing, and then by the end, it's just
we still do crazy camera
Dutch
moves.
angles.
Yeah, so like my favorite camera move we did is where the POV of a doorknob of a lock that's being cracked, and so every time it's hit, the camera goes with it. And so things like that, or shooting something in a one or the steady cam, going all the way around the characters, having to track out with dialogue. Like that's just my style. So we do that throughout.
Wait, tell me about the lock POV. How did you do that? You just kept hitting a camera?
Basically, they had something attached to our camera that the actor could hit, but we kind of turned the camera with it as the actor was hitting the camera.
That's great.
Cool. What kind of camera is it?
It's shot Alexis.
Yeah. Did you, when you're hitting, I assume like a 2x4 or whatever, was it too violent? Like, was it too shaky? Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I would build that rig and I'd be like, dang, now they have to like pull their punch or hit really hard or something.
Yeah.
You know, like the logistics of that idea versus the execution. I'm curious, do you recall there being any sort of trick to it?
I remember that we tested it. We tested all of our rigs. So I'm sure,
that's cool.
It's a blur because we also had 18 shooting days originally.
Sure. I don't know, man. Yeah. Full shot.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's so funny. And today I had a shoot today and we had the PS Technic skater dolly or the skater scope.
Yeah. I love the skater scope. Yeah. Because I like to really shout. So I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. It's this kind of this lens adapter you put on the end of your camera, but it's got you can spin the image.
Oh, gotcha.
It's almost like the same way you would, change focus or your iris. You can spin this dial on the side of this skater scope and it will spin your image. And we have this dog food that I'm shooting. It's like, it kind of looks like a roll of like ground turkey. And there's, you have to cut it. And I thought, it'd be cool to do this shot where we're on the skater scope.
You barrel roll over.
We're barrel roll with the ground turkey looking thing, which of course you could do in post, but it's way better to do for real. But, it's like we're just on a slider with the skater scope and we just have to kind of keep doing it over and over and try to get it. And by the sixth time, the agency people were like, can we just not do the circle thing?
You're like, no.
We're like, why are we, can we just do somewhere it's just like, just a shot of them cutting this thing? Like, why? And I feel like 50% of my like cool shot ideas like end up being killed like that. I think in a feature, it's different. And if you've done these tests, I'm sure you do tests sometimes and you're like, this doesn't create the effect that I was hoping for.
What I do experience on a feature is, on a commercial, everything you promise you have to deliver. Whereas on a feature, it's more so people like trying to cut stuff and you're trying to protect your own stuff. So it's like what I promise to myself, I have to deliver. And so, I have had multiple if time permits cut on me every single day. I think every single day I probably lose 2 setups where I'm like, my babies, they're gone. But then I get to keep all the other stuff and I go, okay, it's fine. People are seeing what we wanted them to see.
Yeah. Wait, so how many days did you end up having from?
So we had, I think it was 3 more after the fact because on our last day we got shut down by a storm. We were shooting a fight scene in a boat on a lake at night and we had a fake storm and a real storm took us over. And so it was at 3 a.m. and instead of everyone being like, woohoo, we wrapped the movie, everyone was like, we can't finish the movie.
Is it because of lightning?
Yeah, exactly. And
because you could have kept shooting if you needed the storm, right? We had a fake storm
also people were falling. So like our stuntman fell and broke his finger because we're on a boat doing stunts in the water, and then also someone dropped a lens, and it got so flooded we couldn't like walk to the boat and back and forth. So we're
right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you need it to be safe so that you can do the dangerous things to make it look like there's a storm.
Yes, yeah, but it was a blessing in disguise because then we shot it all on a soundstage in LA and no one could tell. And then
the boat storm thing with the rain.
Yeah. So I went and we shot our exteriors day for night with body doubles in an actual lake near LA, and then all of the rest of the stuff on the boat is in a soundstage.
And how does day for night work for you when you shoot it? Like, is that something you do all the time, or is it?
No, only specifically. Yeah, because on this, I'm like, okay, the way that we lit the boat was the practicals for the boat is what we're doing, so we can VFX those. But the rest of the movie is so specific of how it's colored that if we did that, we wouldn't be able to get two-tone lighting and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. And remind me, I feel like I've just all of a sudden remembered that you grew up in like wasn't your parents like a cinematographer or something? Or like
no, I wish.
Did you not have a background in filmmaking?
No, not at all. My parents I call them math hippies. So my dad was an aeronautical engineer and my mom was a math teacher, but they also I've gone to Burning Man with my dad. So math hippies.
Okay. Oh, so I must be thinking of someone else. But
I had no help getting into the film industry.
Everything's so easy for you, Sadie. Well, I guess just to go back to like what we talked about the first time you were here about kind of pre-shooting action scenes and things. Do you feel like, again, in the last 397 episodes, the way you approach action scenes and stunts and those visuals have evolved as a whole?
Yes. Oh my God, I've evolved so much. I feel like when I first started out, I thought that I had to storyboard everything or shot list it in such a specific way. And then I learned that was wasting our time because that's limiting actors. I'm like, why would I draw out a medium shot when everyone knows what a medium, very different from commercials, but everyone on this crew knows what a medium shot looks like. And we're going to come in and find it with an actor and they might go, I'm standing up for this point. And you're like, yeah, why am I making you sit in this chair?
Right.
It's counterintuitive to the scene. So I think it's just learning what requires intense planning, what doesn't. And the way that I've one-upped myself is I now include gifs in all my shot lists. So what I'll do is I'll go and when we're scouting, like a whole version of Bone Lake exists where it's me acting out the movie in our actual location of the house. And I've realized that actually when we're doing intense camera moves, if I include it in our shot list, that way everyone has just sent it and everyone can just look and see, oh, this is for the next setup. She's walking through this doorway and then the camera whips at this moment. And so that's kind of the next level up I've been.
Yeah. So let's walk through the logistics of it, right? So you're on your scout. You're shooting everything with your phone, right?
Yeah.
Then you're editing that footage.
Yeah.
More or less, like the basics, or at least the shot list of it all. And then are you taking it into Premiere to then re-export as like low-res GIFs?
No, basically I go and I shoot it on my phone. Even after we have Scout, we pick the location and then I just stay in the location for a week or two with the DP. And then we're shooting it all there. And then I just take it into Giphy.com.
Okay, great.
Easy GIF.
Great. Sure.
And export it. And it's very easy.
And then how do you distribute them? Is that in
like a Google Doc?
Yeah. So I have my Google Doc that is the shot list that's attached to the call sheet every single day that goes out to everybody. And during lunch, I'll go and set myself in a trailer and re-edit it based on what happened. And then everyone just gets the edit after lunch.
Awesome. I love
that.
So
in that situation, do you do like the medium shots and all the shots or just
I write everything down because when you're shooting that little of days, I have to plan so intensely to be able to make what's happening. You know, like I shoot with 2 cameras. I try not to shoot cross coverage, but on this, we had a 3rd camera going a lot. But, you know, for example, for some of our fight stunt sequences, we'd be shooting inside and we'd be shooting a dialogue scene with 2 cameras and we'd be setting up the prosthetic person outside with the blood gag that's about to happen with the 3rd camera. And so I go cut and I run outside and I go, okay, action. And we do the blood gag and I go, okay, got it. And then we're back inside and then maybe they prep it again. But like We have to know every.
That's the good stuff.
It's so fun.
That is it.
I feel like that's what makes me live.
That 100%. That is what makes life worth living, right there.
I agree. Yeah, it's the biggest
Sorry, kids.
in the world. Way more fun than drugs.
Have you ever had a second unit?
Oh,
like
all the time.
Else? Yeah. So other people shooting.
Yeah.
And like inserts or drone shots
and
or whatever.
Half the time it goes well, and half the time I'm like, no.
So let's talk about that. What were the things that made it not work? Like how have you revised it? How have you improved that process?
I think on indie projects, it depends who ends up being your second unit. So is it a producer who has a lot of history doing ladder? Is it someone who doesn't? Or if it's the stuntman, it's like, great, they know exactly what they're doing. And so I think it kind of, you learn as it goes on. I would love to be able to choose the people all the time, but sometimes it's like, oh my God, you're even giving me a second unit? That's so exciting. And so I think that when I'm even actually, my new thing after having done all these movies that I do now is I will not shoot an insert shot with main unit. I refuse, because it is a waste of everyone's time. We should not have, 20 to 100 people standing around while we shoot a hand insert. We should be doing it after the fact, back in someone's apartment, back in LA, and we can make it look exactly the same and take our time to make it look good and get more setups on the day.
Wait, but what about the background?
It depends. It depends what it is. If there's something, obviously I have to get there at the location, I will, but most insert shots, it doesn't require that.
It's a pencil on the pad of paper.
Yeah, it's a pencil on the pad of paper. Or, if we're doing stunts, it's like a knife going into someone's body part. Like that doesn't require the background, and that takes a ton of time to get right and make sure it looks good. So I'd rather just come back and do it at home.
That is a good point. Yeah. Now it makes me question. Today I'm on day 1 of 3, and we have a lot of inserts and product shots, and I'm like, should I even shoot those anymore?
I've also done that on commercials where I'll go off and do it. And I'm like, great. So GP, I'm like, you want to do this over the weekend? You down?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, the trick there is like the product shots we're in, like they're there to be like, well, you have to turn it.
Obviously. I mean, they need to be there. That's different. Yeah. There's no way anyone would do that.
But like those little things that would get cut on the day or whatever. Like those little pickup pieces. And also, if things are going well, by the second half of the day, they're missing shots for sure. They're all on their phones. They're barely paying attention. They're like making dinner plans. So it's not like they're like, hey, Mercedes, when did you shoot this shot?
No. Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
No, that is pretty awesome. And it is something I think about a lot as a filmmaker, is just how many people are getting paid to do nothing.
No, exactly.
When you're on set.
Yeah, like if you have all the people there, make use of for what you can do with them, because you can shoot insert shots with 3 people sometimes and you're good. Yeah. My hand has been in every movie I've ever made.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is when you do those like Videomatic, like previs things with you, we had Jim Cummings on the podcast, and
I know Jim.
For every movie, he records an entire podcast of him doing all the characters' parts, which I just think is the most insane thing I've ever heard. And it makes me wonder, like, is everyone like, are they just doing an impression of you? Are they bringing their own performance? And so how do you leave space for people to figure out their own performance when you're pre-shooting all their performances?
I love people challenging me, because either it makes me stick true to going, no, this is really how it should be, or they might be right, and an actor might be going, I'm supposed to be spying on this person at this point. I wouldn't be this far in the room. This is ridiculous. They would see me. And then I go, great, let's change it. So I'm kind of best ideas wins type person. Yeah.
Also, there's no audio in a GIF, right? So they can't be like totally right.
Yeah. And also, I don't show actors my GIFs, because I feel like that would be implicit. No, I don't.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because that kind of takes away their creativity to find it. Yeah.
And I only show them MP4s. Well, my last
format guy.
My last question I was kind of curious about for like Bone Lake and kind of your process in general, just because your stuff is so visceral and visual and dynamic. And like you said, you love just always having a steady cam doing something. Like, how do you, like for a movie like Bone Lake, like where do you find references? How do you get inspired? How do you figure out how things are going to look and what colors things are going to be? And like, what's your process to figure out a look?
Yeah, I found that what works for me on movies, because especially indie movies have such little prep time, it's 4 to 6 weeks a lot. If you get more than that, you're really lucky because you really fought for it. And that's awesome. Is what I'll do is before the movie's even going, I'll just have a couple months where it's me sitting in my space and I'll watch things and I'll look at picture references. And that way I can just walk around the world feeling like I'm having 5 months to prep this movie. And that way I have literally, when I have all my Google Docs, and I have a Google Doc that's unorganized notes. That way I can just write it down and just stop a movie and write it down. And that way I don't forget. And that way when I come to my DP and everyone else, I've already thought about it for so long that I can compare with them instead of wasting our prep time coming up with the ideas, because that's not enough time to just sit and think and be creative.
Yeah. Noodle. Yeah. I love that.
I remember I did my second feature. The DP came over. He's like, "You want a shot list?" I was like, "Sure." And he came over. He's like, "Okay, so this scene, how do we shoot it?" And I was like, "I don't know. I guess maybe like a wide establishing shot." And we push it. And I was like, "This is no fun." I'm just like, and then he's like, "Okay, and then what?" And I'm like, "Medium." Like
having someone sit and watch you think is like, what the hell is that? I hate that. Yeah.
And it's also so first thought.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we start with a wide shot.
And and you're like, medium shot. No? A close up?
Yeah.
And then another reverse on that, and then an insert.
But how are you keeping
it? Yeah.
So you have this Google Doc. Are you like taking photos of things and like pasting them in there? Or how do you get the visuals?
No, exactly. Like I'll have it. And I've also, what I've done in between projects is I'll just, whenever I find something cool, I'll save it for myself. And that way I almost have this master library where I can go through and scroll through and be like, does this fit the movie? Does it not? And so it's kind of me pulling my own references. And it's way easier to do that than think about it on the spot.
This is a controversial thing I'm about to say, so take it with a grain of salt. But I find that is where AI is really helpful in my writing process, right? Yeah. If just like, okay, I'm just brain dumping. Here's just like gobbledygook that doesn't make a ton of sense. And it's notes that I've emailed myself and voice all of that stuff. And you can ask it to ask you the questions that it needs to understand, like how this all sort of makes sense together, right? Like it's not writing. It's just like, will you reorganize this so that the intro ideas are all in the same bucket at least? And yeah, it helps you get from, I don't know what I'm like, is there something there to like, oh, okay, I see how I can move this around and make it work.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like usually stuff like that, it's maybe 10% of it is good and helpful and you go, great, that helped a block. Or, using AI to be like, I need a sharp thing to fall on someone's head and kill them. That's a sex toy. What exists?
Sure.
And that's like, it's a hyper awesome search engine, but it's not taking away the creativity of you writing a scene. But it takes.
Wait, can you tell us what the answer is? Is that Act 3 of your movie?
I'm trying to. That would be a plot spoiler.
Sure.
That's awesome. Well, so now you already have another movie set up, and when is Bone Lake out?
So Bone Lake is coming out October 3rd in theaters across the U.S. So everyone should go see it because it's very fun. It feels culty in like watching it in a theater with people because people are like. And they're really vocal, which is my favorite thing in the world.
Is it over, like how many screens is it on? Do you know?
I'm not sure. It changes when we get closer. So like that's something that they tell us a certain amount. And then, it's subject to change. Yes.
Yeah. Well, this episode will be out close to the release, basically.
Wow, that's crazy. So are you, and you do commercials too, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So I basically I'll do a feature and then I'll sprinkle in a couple of commercials in between. It's kind of what I've been doing for the last couple of years.
And is this kind of like, in terms of like the future, is this kind of the ideal version? Is like you do a feature
Mercedes
every couple of years?
Living your dream.
Yeah.
Right?
Like what do you want? You just have everything? You're just happy?
No.
I disagree. I don't know. I'm seeing Mercedes is like fully.
What
flourishing.
frustrates you?
Here's the issue, Oren, is that when you're someone who has very high standards for yourself, it's never enough.
Sure. That's what he's getting at. But but I don't need to project. But like if your life is just like bigger movies, bigger commercials, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
That's fine, right?
Yeah.
Or no, am I wrong?
No, I fucking love it because on commercials, it's such a good feeling to go into something and have it be done and have stuff that is different and you could try it out versus when I do a feature, I feel like it's a part of my soul and my heart. Like I literally feel like it's having another kid and it's what over the years, it's what I think about, what I remember because I can remember every day on set versus in normal life. I'm like, this happened and I went to this movie and I went to go hang out with this friend. But that is my dream, is to continue that, and also TV. So yeah.
I will say I used to be like, oh yeah, like having a kid is like shooting. It's not, we can hang. And then after I had a kid, I had like filmmaking friends, and I would be like, oh, having a kid is like shooting a feature that you never wrap. That's what it is.
Well, you wrap it in like 18 years.
You wrap it in 19 years.
Yeah. Like 12 years. They stop wanting to, the feature stops wanting to hang out with you. Well, cool. Well, if people want to find out what's going on with Bone Lake and what's going on with your next movie, Bone Lake 2.
Yes.
How can people?
Oh, yes. People can follow me on Instagram at Mercedes Bryce Morgan.
Awesome.
Mercedes, when I knew that you were coming on the show, it was so exciting. And I've seen your social media for a long time, but it must have been like the day or two that your people reached out. I started seeing like a good number of like Instagram reels from you that were less BTS and more like kind of produced, right? Like a little bit more like you would call it quote unquote content, rather than like your standard Instagram fare that you see from other directors of like set selfies and like a cool shot or something. Like this was like a little more advice oriented. It felt intentional in a way that I'm curious about. Can you tell us a little bit about why you kind of maybe are taking a different stance on your social media?
Totally.
Right now?
So this is a new learning and a new era that I'm kind of walking into. But when I first got started, I did not have Instagram. I didn't want it. And my agents told me, they said, that is very dumb of you not to be utilizing this tool that is very important. I went, fine. And then I've realized over the years, as you guys have probably realized too, also doing a podcast, I go, oh my God, this gets me jobs and this gets me on panels, and it kind of links to everything, because it's all about, we meet so many people and it's people remembering each other and being able to stay connected to people and knowing what they're doing, even when you're not having enough time in your day to remember people. And so I realized, oh my God, this amazing tool that people look at more than my website. Every single time I meet someone, I look them up on Instagram and vice versa. Like that, why would I not use that and cater that? And so I've kind of been looking at a new level of that, is how do I do outreach to find that? Because with movies, it's building your audience and having people look at you and recognize you, because just like actors have value, directors also have value. And so I figured this is something I should build up for myself and utilize. So I've been getting more into that. And I think something that I would say a mistake I've made is not been doing enough BTS of my movies up to this point. And what I mean is, it's not enough to have a BTS photographer come or someone to shoot one day of video. You should be documenting every damn moment of the movie, because there's things like Final Destination Bloodlines that popped up on my feed of, this is how they do the crazy set pieces.
Old friends of the show, actually. And old sponsors, actually. Yeah. But I've seen that video. You're talking about the one where their head gets crushed?
Yeah, exactly.
And they do it practically and And
it's amazing. And we've all seen that, and that is such good marketing. And that's how people go and see movies nowadays. And so I realized I should be marketing myself. I should be marketing the project. And so it's a new thing I've been exploring.
Yeah, I love that.
It's awesome. We literally, I think our episode that dropped this last Thursday, we were supposed to interview this pretty cool guest that ended up like not being available last minute. But we made it an episode about Instagram, basically, about like how posting on social, like it just leads to so much stuff, and people, they might think of you as a filmmaker more because you're posting about being a filmmaker than actually watching your film.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, people, I have friends who are writers on awesome, huge TV shows, and no one in my friend group knows about it because they're not on Instagram. And so it's amazing, but it's almost happening in a vacuum, because I told them, like, you should do this because this will lead to so many opportunities for you, but no one knows that you're doing this amazing thing.
And it's hard, because I have been both versions of that person. I have been a person who's had a podcast and been hyper online and posting all the time and putting myself...
You have a podcast?
And the podcast is kind of like a weird thing, because it doesn't, in a certain sense, it feels very intimate. It feels like I'm just talking to Oren and Mercedes right now, And so it's easy to kind of forget that this is in public, especially now that our clips are on Instagram. I'm like, I should have brushed my hair or something. But it's fun to not do it too, right? Like, it is easy to kind of get caught up in that thing of like, just kind of getting overly involved with the likes and stuff. Like, not that I couldn't tell you how many likes I've gotten on anything, but I know for sure I have checked to see how something is done.
Of course.
the day after or an hour after or whatever. I call it the refreshies.
Yes.
Like especially if something is like going a little viral.
Yeah. You're like, ooh.
Like just seeing it go up, just like that little dopamine kick. Do you feel like on Bone Lake you were conscientious of social in a different way, or is this kind of after
I wasn't
fact?
even thinking about it at all. And I wish that I had more. And because of that, I'm going to treat movies differently. And so it's kind of been after the fact of, let's go make all this content put out there. I'm like, damn it, I wish someone had been shooting this when we were doing these crazy cool practical effects. That would have been so cool.
Yeah.
There's this director I follow on Instagram. I think her name is like Ellen or Elle or something. She's like a music video director.
Elle Schneider?
She's pretty good. Her standard crew is a behind the scenes person that just is literally filming her at the monitor, watching things and directing actors and doing. And she posts every single shoot. She posts behind the scenes, footage of, and I've seen her just over the last 2 years, like growing so huge from, her work is good also, but just the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, it's got to be both, right? But
exactly.
You're asking someone to watch a movie one time and every single time they're on their phones looking at Instagram, that's another touch point, right?
Exactly.
So it's just a different sort of scale that you're thinking about.
Yeah.
It makes me think of, do you guys remember the Rian Johnson Star Wars? They have a great documentary and they all were wearing like big flowers on their lapels, like felt flowers, which I think were microphones meant to signify like, hey, I'm on mic right now.
Yeah.
Like be aware you're on camera if you were talking to me with this thing on. And the footage is incredible. It's all like super long lens, which you can hear all these intimate conversations and stuff. I don't know. So
and see, that stuff's so cool.
BTS.
Yeah. Now, when I was a kid, watching the BTS of Lord of the Rings, I'm like, that's one of the most awesome things that exists out there. Yeah.
What's crazy is now one of the more active people I see, directors on Instagram that post a lot of behind the scenes and random things, is James Gunn, who also happens to be like running DC and directing every episode of Peacemaker and making a few movies here and there.
And can afford a small team to do all of that for him.
But he realizes like Martin Scorsese is not like posting behind the scenes videos, but James Gunn is like, oh, this is valuable to me as like an influencer outside of people just watching my work.
Yeah,
100%.
exactly.
Anyhow. Okay, Mercedes.
Yes.
Do you have a minute to endorse something with us?
Oh, yes.
Unpaid endorsements.
My unpaid endorsement is Texture Labs. Do you guys know Texture Labs?
No.
It's a website that just has a bunch of really high-res textures. Yeah. And I feel like when you're doing stuff in Photoshop, you're making a thumbnail for a podcast or whatever, I'm always like looking for like some film grain or some emulsion or some like vintage paper, all of those kind of just things, or in treatments, right? Like sometimes you want a plain background, but oftentimes like adding a little something to it just kind of gives you a little bit of world building. And if you just Google, vintage paper texture, you're going to find a bunch of stock that's good, but you probably don't have, or you don't want to blow a credit on like an Adobe stock download. So texturelabs.com is awesome. It's got all of the stuff you're looking for in super, super high res.
Texture Labs is awesome, but can I tell you something annoying?
Yeah.
If you go to Midjourney and you type in vintage paper background, you also get a lot of...
But I want the real Oren. Like textures specifically, I don't want the AI version of the texture.
Okay. But Texture Labs is good. I did these visual effects where I needed like a cross section of grass, like, soil, then like the roots of the grass and then the grass. Great. And I spent like a week trying to find visual references on Google and stuff.
You're like, then I just go to Home Depot and get sod.
Yeah, I probably should have done that. I needed like a baseball field's worth of length. And so I was just having a really hard time finding it. And then I just made it in Midjourney. Nice. And it looks pretty good. Nice. But anyhow, okay, Mercedes, what do you got?
Okay, in a really weird way, Hurricane Harbor, because I've started liking to go do work there, and because I get tired of doing...
Wait, what is Hurricane Harbor?
Hurricane Harbor is a water park, and the reason why I'm saying...
Southern California?
Southern California.
Where's Hurricane Harbor? Is that at Disneyland?
It's like a less than an hour drive from LA. And the reason why I say it...
Oh, Magic Mountain.
Everyone thinks I'm ridiculous for saying this, but I've gotten so tired of working at coffee shops because as we don't necessarily go into offices. And so I've been trying to expand. If I'm going to go bright and I want a break to go do something, where are the craziest I've gotten to hotel lobbies. But my new thing is I'm like, I could go to a water park and people might think I'm weird for having my laptop out at a water park, but I'll do a couple hours of work and take a break and go on a slide, hit the lazy river and come back.
Great people watching too, right? Like you're observing behaviors, all sorts of, that's really fun.
Yeah. Cause I'm like, we work freelance, like take advantage of it. I can go 100%. Work at a water park and that's what I'm going to do.
That is crazy.
I used to do you remember, Pins, the bowling alley in Ventura, like across from Hallmark? Similar vibes of just like, oh, it's crazy and it's also so loud.
Oh yeah, also the work in arcades. I love working in arcades. Yeah.
Every time Matt writes a great line of dialogue, he like bowls a strike.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, if you're tired of writing at coffee shops, my advice is buy a coffee.
I love that. Hurricane Harbor.
Hurricane Harbor.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Really good. Do you have like an annual pass? Or are you paying to?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Cool. That's
great.
You
can do Knott's Berry Farm. You could change it up.
Sure. Yeah. Medieval times.
Exactly.
Southern California, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I like just writing in weird places is a awesome move.
Yeah, exactly.
Kaplan, what you got, buddy?
Man, I'm like so out of endorsements.
Yeah, like dog food.
I'm literally.
Oren has been shooting for like.
Literally, my endorsement is going to be something from set, and it's going to be the worst endorsement.
Great.
We had our editor on set today, and it was awesome. It's awesome. And I know,
it's so awesome.
I know it's so easy to just be like, you should have an editor on set, but today was a commercial, so that at the end of the day, he's like, "Hey, you want to see an assembly?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's get the whole agency over." And we're all sitting there and watching the edit of the first spot, and it's not great. And I would have chosen different takes, and some things weren't exactly, the way they were intended. But they were like, "Whoa, didn't we just shoot this shot like 10 minutes ago?" I'm like, "Yeah, the DIT gave it to the editor." So if you can, I've done this before. It's really nice. We have a really good editor on this, and he came. That's the ideal scenario.
I'm jealous. I've never been given that before.
But
nice.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a really good editor, even just bringing someone that will just like put the footage there and you can kind of just sit at lunch and premiere and just kind of mess around. I don't know. We talked to this director, Kat Coiro, yesterday, and she said that half her job is just getting people excited, to be on set. And that's like a thing that's really easy if you just kind of get footage and you call everyone in and you're like, "Hey, look at how these 2 shots, this thing worked." You know?
Totally.
The other thing we did is, and this is very specific to this job I'm working on, but there's a lot of text, like on-screen text and supers and stuff. And so again, this might be a little bit of a luxury, but I gave our VTR person like all the PNG files, like all the tech. I made PNG files out of all the on-screen text. And so when we're watching it on set, he's like just putting it on there. And it just feels like more of a finished product when you're watching it.
And also you're aware of like how much space you need. Do you know what I mean? Like it's one thing to like, say like, "Oh, we need some extra negative space for the,
titles,
whatever the brand name is or whatever."
Yeah.
But it's another to see it,
Yeah. And even like my titles are all temp. They're not final and they're not animated or anything. But I do think there's something fun about just trying to create the image on set, just making it as final as product-y as you can. And if there's text or graphics or anything, if you can monitor those on set, it's just really fun. But, having a VTR person is we don't always get that. No.
Sure. Yeah.
But so 2 random endorsements from today.
I think they're actually not bad for getting pulled out of your butt last minute. Mercedes, this is great. Come back.
Yes, we really want to hear.
On what episode? The 800th episode?
No, it'll be sooner than that.
No, 600.
Yeah.
600.
Okay, great.
That'll be 2 years from now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
If you have questions for Mercedes, hit us up at justshootitpod@gmail.com, or we're across all social media at justshootitpod. And I'm at Mr. Matt Enlow.
And I'm on Instagram at OKaplan. This episode was edited by Kevin O. Yang, our social media expert.
Our social media is done.
Our social media is done by Lily Bouvier, and our producer is Tyler Small. And you're listening to music from the Free Music Archive and Artist Jazar. And we will catch you next time.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
Bye.